The Nintendo Entertainment System. The console known for its brutally difficult library of games, even birthing the phrase, "That's Nintenhard." But which titles were the hardest of the hard? I'm talking about the games that were so difficult, they increased the gaming company's sales for replacing Smash controllers. Well, there's the usual suspects. You find them on any top 10 hardest NES games countdown. Games like Top Gun, Mega Man, Silver Surfer, or my personal #1 hardest NES game pick, Ghosts and Goblins. A perfect example of a game that is brutally difficult, but fair at the same time. Sure, you die in 2 hits, have to deal with swarms of infinitely spawning enemies, and have to execute careful jumps since you can't change directions once airborne. But with practice, you could master these challenges in what is subjectively a fun and rewarding experience. Oh, and the best part? Capcom was merciful enough to provide the player with unlimited continues, so you aren't sent back to level 1 when you inevitably get a game over. And trust me, you will. But wait, there's another NES title that's on every top 10 hardest games list. Some may even suggest it's the hardest of them all. That's right, it's Battletoads, Rare's early 90s alternative to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles franchise. This 1991 British invasion came complete with a cartoon TV special, toys, and of course the video game series starring the Battletoads on the NES. Now who needs anthropomorphic turtles named after Renaissance artists when you could instead play as toads named after various dermatological conditions? Nothing quite captures the teenage demographic like toads named Rash, Zits, and Pimple, guaranteed to make your dermatologist's wallet twitch. Well, on to the story. So a princess was kidnapped along with the toad Pimple by some 1980s porn star, and it's up to Rash, and Zits if you have a friend to play co-op, to rescue them with the help of a space rooster. First impressions. You descend down on the planet's surface and enjoy an aesthetically pleasing beat-em-up level with some basic platforming elements. Hey, this enemy reminds me of those creepy stilt ghosts. And you could use their legs as a weapon? Ha, that's neat. And here are some flying dragons that you can tame and ride on? Awesome! Oh, well, here's the first boss. This must be where things get hard. The camera changes perspective, and you're in the crosshair of a giant mecha spider bot. Three hits later and it's on to the next level, the Wookiee hole? Here, you rappel down to the bottom of this pit, fighting birds and robots on the way down. Did I just rip the beak off of that bird and use it to beat his brother?
Oh, that's brutal.
It's no wonder this game was and remains so popular, given the fun and creative gameplay of the first 2 levels. Most kids that played this game could get at least this far and have an enjoyable experience. But then comes level 3, the infamous Turbo Tunnel. The Turbo Tunnel can feel like that signpost in the amusement park that states you're not tall enough to ride the ride. The ride being the mysterious hidden Battletoads game content hiding behind this very challenging level. Well, I've been there, and I was tall enough to ride the ride. And it looks something like this. The Turbo Tunnel may be difficult, but it's still fair. You hop on your hoverbike and speed up, dodging pink walls, jumping, and hitting ramps. Although you'll need fast reflexes to react to the wall and ramp locations, the programmers at least gave you an indication of where the obstacles are. I find the only real difficult part of this level is the end segment, where you'll need rapid, frame-perfect input to dodge successive pink walls. But with proper timing, you could hit the 10th wall to warp ahead, bypassing the tougher last few walls of the Turbo Tunnel. Now you're in Surf City, congratulations! You're treading on grounds few have walked before. Unfortunately, this level is also difficult, but still fair, and getting a game over at this point hurts, as you'll have to revisit the Turbo Tunnel. Compared to the speed of the Turbo Tunnel, the first round of obstacles here is simple. There's a boss halfway through that can be a bit rough. It can take you down in one hit if it lands on you, or combo you to death with a few punches. But if you could back it into the corner, you could lock it in place with a stick weapon. There's more here? Well, now we're surfing over a randomized minefield, but with some quick reactions, I still consider this a fair challenge. Next level, giant snakes. And this is the point where the programmers and level designers drop the ball. In what could be assumed as their method to jack up the difficulty after they've already jumped the shark, the game ceases from being a beat-em-up platformer and becomes a memory game with beat-em-up and platforming elements. The first room is simple enough, as there's no way to die here, and you can learn the behavior of the snakes, which you have to traverse as moving platforms. In the second room, however, spikes are introduced which cause instant death upon contact. On your first playthrough, you'll have no idea which direction the snakes will turn, making it impossible to formulate a plan on how to navigate the field of spikes. This is especially true for the third room, where the snakes move erratically and spikes are everywhere. Moreover, at this point you'll be learning the correct path by trial and error, at the expense of your precious toad lives, if you have more than one by this point. Is it fair to put this type of game mechanic 6 levels into an already difficult game? Absolutely not. You may have to play the game through these first 6 levels 5 or more times before learning the snake movements and patterns. And this is the fundamental reason why Battletoads is unfair, unreasonable, and suffers from poor level design. Now, take the randomness of the snake level and add in the difficulty and lightning reflex requirements of the turbo tunnel, and you'll get level 7, Volkmeyer's Inferno. Sure, in the first section you'll be given a heads up on the location to where you can avoid obstacles, like before, but in the last segment, this is thrown out the window, as you aren't even given enough time to react unless you would know where the clearance location is. Ridiculous. If you manage to beat this stage, the next one is pretty fair, but the following one resurrects the bullshit. Here, look at this. At this part, you have to race away from this wheel until you reach a gate. But wait, you go up or down? Well, in a split-second logical assumption, the wheel should hit the gate to open it. Nope. Well, at least we know for the next one. Great. Spikes down here, out of frame. More memorization. Again? There's 2 lives gone right there. Oh, good. Finally, we're at the end of this section. Well, at least the game taught us which way the wheel will go. What? You can't be serious. This inconsistency is unacceptable and completely unreasonable for Rare to assume any player would be able to retroactively read the mind of the level designer and know where this obstacle is, or this one, or this, or this, or this, before encountering it once, especially when there are limited continues, forcing you back to level 1 after learning a portion of the higher levels. While this type of level design is always looked down upon, in my opinion, at bare minimum, Rare could have implemented the infinite continue system used in Ghosts and Goblins to motivate players to actually finish Battletoads and avoid the tedium of revisiting the first half of the game just to learn the layout of the end game levels. Yet, despite its flawed level design, the creativity and aesthetics of the game pulls it into a paradox, where it's initially fun to play, but is inevitably increasingly frustrating. As you know, Rare would later go on to produce masterpieces of game design such as the Donkey Kong Country trilogy, Banjo-Kazooie, and Tooie, GoldenEye, and the list goes on. As humans, either independently or as a team, we succeed where we learn from our mistakes and refine our skills. Thus, Battletoads stands as a historical proving ground, testing what worked and what missed the mark. As for the naysayers that disagree with my assessment, don't make me bring up all the issues with multiplayer. And level 11 isn't even programmed correctly for multiplayer. Imagine getting that far in the game with your friend just to make that discovery. And if you still think Rare is incapable of making a poorly designed game, check out this compilation of our playthrough of Beetlejuice on the NES.
It's showtime. Yeah, programmed by Rare Ltd. Right.
Okay, and we're in. No, there was no menu. Okay.
What the f***?
Anthony?
I don't know.
I think we got a problem.
I think we've got a problem.
Can I jump on him? Of course not. Can I stomp on him? What the hell?
This game is glitchy and what
Oh!
the
Oh, you can just jump here. Okay. Okay.
Instant
death.
KO!
Mercy was not shown to Beetlejuice this day. Oh my god, is that what he looked like in the movie? Can I hit no?
No. All I know is we're trapped on that cloud.
Okay, for the time, once you learn how to play it, the big problem is it doesn't teach you how to play it. I think we're gonna need more power. Are you serious? Yo, you know what happened?
What?
I moved left off this tree and hit the bottom of the stage and died. Look. That's how high the tree was. I died from into the hole.
This is really bad.
So let's hear from you. What's your opinion on Battletoads? Was this game an oversight in level design, or perhaps a scheme to sell more Nintendo Power subscriptions? Was it an intentional effort to increase game length for players, or all of the above? Let me know in the comments, and if you liked the video, you could subscribe and click the bell for alerts. Retro Roulette releases daily videos where I play random retro games with my friend Anthony, and provide entertaining commentary on consoles ranging from the NES all the way to Dreamcast and GameCube. Check out our reaction to Starwing on the Super Nintendo. Or, if the N64 is your thing, here's a link to Turok 2: Seeds of Evil. This has been Chris from Retro Roulette, and I'll catch you next time.